Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's Lex, and today we're going to be checking out another video for you guys. We're going to be reacting to Akademiks confronting Sneako for exploiting FouseyTube when the whole FouseyTube era was going around a couple months ago. We're going to get into a little bit of what's going on with that. Fousey obviously was a big enigma on the live streaming side of things. He brought in so many viewers, so many controversies, like when he was live streaming 24/7. Here's Akademiks and Sneako, which is like an unlikely duo. I did not expect them to really be hanging out like this, although Akademiks does hang around with a lot of people. So, I mean, it's kind of not... it's not something that is totally out of the stratosphere. It's totally out of like Akademiks is like circle. So, yeah, we're going to get into this. Let's see what they're talking about. I guess Akademiks has a little bit of a pushback against Sneako and see what they have to say.
I thought y'all was taking advantage of Fousey. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, yo,
oh, so we're getting it right out the gate. I haven't seen the full stream, so I don't know. There could be previous context to it, but I guess he's setting... Akademiks is pretty good at setting the like tone for the conversation. So, yeah.
It's not all the way there.
I was taking advantage of him?
Of course.
What do you mean?
Bro.
How?
You know what, like, his behavior was not good for his health, but it was great for content, and everybody just, like, were flocking to him.
Wait. Akademiks saying I took advantage of Fousey. How? He's a grown-ass man. What do you want me to do, babysit him?
But Sneako is... his kind of perception of people is kind of that, you know, grown-ass man, grown-ass people. Like, that's kind of how he views type of thing. So I don't expect him to have a very compassionate take when it comes down to it. I mean, I don't know if he was necessarily exploiting Fousey. I guess so, because... you know, if you do know somebody's obviously unhealthy, you should probably get them the help that they need or do the best that you can to get them the help that they need. Especially when Sneako and FouseyTube were doing these live streams together. And I remember that one clip where FouseyTube started smacking himself and Sneako was just sitting there like, what is going on, instead of trying to like actually help him or anything like that. So I guess that's kind of what Akademiks is saying. You know, if somebody's like mentally ill, somebody's going through something, and you're not speaking up or trying to help them, and instead you're just recording and going on with the content. You know, not everything's COE, you know.
It's a grown-ass... hold on, he's a grown-ass man that's having episodes, and y'all ain't having... I can understand if y'all all kind of batshit crazy, but he was only batshit crazy one.
So what was I doing during the streams? I would tell him, yo, you should take some breaks. I would tell him, like, relax a little bit. Because he'd be sitting in the car, I'm like, let's chill out for a bit. And he'd be wilding on even more.
He became a magnet for everyone who wanted to, like, play this. Fousey became the dude that you just put the camera on, and he would just he would just make the stream entertaining.
Okay.
But that's Fousey at his core, right? Fousey at his core is just a really entertaining ass dude. Like the fact that he was able to sustain the content for so long and have people captivated and engaged into his content. That's what made Fousey so good, and also what made Fousey what made it backfire to him as well, because like the same attention that he was getting is the same thing that was kind of affecting his mental health. It was the same thing that was hurting him, you know?
That's the cop-out for y'all, number one, right? Because y'all have to do less when Fousey's around.
So what do you think we should have done? Put him in a hospital?
No, yo, just like...
lock him up?
Just not do content with them as much.
Don't do content with him as much? He's streaming 24 hours a day.
Well, collaborating with them and doing all these events.
I guess what Ak is saying is like, you should have been more of a friend. You should have cared a little bit more. You should have told him to take the stream off, or you should have done something other than, you know, partake in the same thing he was doing, you know, or stayed away from him at least.
Bro, like, that shit led to where he's at.
I went to the gym with them when we prayed with them, and I went to a party with them.
Bro, you should...
that's all I did. I went to a restaurant, went to the gym.
That's the dangers of... I
mean, Shirko. Shirko's like the biggest sin in Islam, saying like I'm worshiping false idols.
Yeah, well, I mean, put it like this.
Think about this.
Everybody was watching and looking at Fousey and being like, yo, Fousey, something is a little bit off.
Yeah.
And that was very apparent. That was very apparent. Like it went like that. Like if you guys watched the H3 podcast with him, all of a sudden his mindset completely shifted over the next few weeks, whether it was because of no sleep, whether it was because of his mental health issues. Like it just almost like a Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, like it almost like snapped like that. And you could see that transition happening because he was definitely, you know, live streaming 24/7. So it was easier to be in the moment with him, you know, and that was pretty crazy to see somebody who was really going through something, and you know, people who were around him kind of being like leeches as well.
Granted, amazing content, because who doesn't love a train wreck, right? But at a point, you know what I mean? I think even an incident that he got, like, you know, taken in for could have been avoided. And it could have been avoided.
I tried to help.
Yeah, but
if you saw that shit, I was calling him saying, go to sleep, bro.
You can't help on camera. You can't help during
He was always on camera.
Bruh.
Well, it was never off camera.
No, but hear what I'm saying. If I see you doing some negative shit, right? And, you know, I understand everybody's doing content. But at a certain point, the only way might be me telling you, bro, I'm not doing content with you. Until, like, bro, like, none of y'all actually...
I guess kind of like saying like you don't have to partake in it. You kind of could be, you don't want to be an accessory to the problem as well. You could like try to set them down and hold them accountable, do the best that you can. But the fact that they didn't even try, you know, is the problem here. I guess that was kind of the enabling factor.
Like, bro, are you off your meds?
Last day, when they said
like, I watched the body cam thing. That was one of the same things. Called and said, yo, like, that's what you're supposed to be asking. Like, yo, bro, you good?
I did. Nah,
you were like, yo, we about to turn the fuck up. We about to hit this.
That last day, I didn't stream with Fousey, and I was supposed to, and I said, nah, you know, he's doing too much. I think he needs a day off. I'm not going to be a part of this.
Damn, dude, what the hell?
They said positive things. They thank us so that we're keeping his name alive and everything like that. They say that, look, we're taking advantage of him, but then he will say himself that, like, we're some of the people that he likes having around the most. I've spoken to his family.
Yeah, but
but that's the thing, dude. You can't, like, this guy is completely unhinged, you know? He's going through a manic episode. This guy doesn't know whether something is good for him or bad for him. Like, that's the problem with people with mental health disorders, is that, yes, they could... it's almost there, like, I hate to say it, but they don't know whether something is obviously hurting them or not. And that is the problem with somebody who's suffering from mental health or someone that is manic, is that they could be doing things that make them feel good, but in the reality, it's a negative thing that they're doing, right? And that was the problem with this whole thing, is that he was creating this content for the audience and creating this whole environment for people to enjoy. But at the same time, it was kind of hitting him with side effects, you know, and also affecting him negatively. And that was the bad thing. And he's almost blinded to that fact, you know.
He suffers from the same shit that Kanye suffers from.
Right, and whenever...
you can never ask the victim if you're taking advantage of them. Like, hey, I'm not taking...
But you can't... Look at
exactly.
You can't control Ye.
No, but hear what I'm saying.
You can't stop Ye.
That is true. You cannot stop Ye, especially someone as powerful as he is, but he definitely suffers from something. He definitely suffers. And I know that people are going to be like, oh, he's his own man, you know, who are going to subscribe to this Sneako perspective. He's his own man. He could take care of himself. Yes, you could be your own man. Yes, you could be your own person, your own individual. But the reality is when you're suffering from something that is real, right? If you deny the fact that mental health isn't a factor into things, then we're not having a conversation. There is no conversation to be had. Because if your mentality is that, then the reality is this, is that you're not going to be able to prescribe yourself to the other perspective, you know? And obviously compassion goes out the window at that point. So if you yourself don't even subscribe to the idea that somebody could be suffering from mental health issues or mental health illnesses, then it's just impossible to even have a good progressive discussion with you, because you obviously are not even in the same playing field as me. And that is the problem that Aka is going to have in this moment, because he's trying to hold Sneako accountable, but he's not even on the same playing field. But we'll see what Aka ends up doing here.
Yeah, you can't try to stop somebody when they're on a man, like when they're going. You can't.
Yeah, he's not gonna say his yes men are taking advantage of him, because they're enabling him. They're telling him whatever he's doing is right. You can't. That's the last person that's gonna say, nah, you're taking.
So you need
advantage.
to have yes men. All right, well, look, man.
I mean, you guys were the yes men for Fousey.
No, I wasn't. I was telling him that he needs to take breaks and he needs to stop. Well,
you could say that, right? You could say that, but it's almost like, right, not fully, but it's almost like, oh man, let's say you're doing drugs with somebody, right? And you're like, oh man, like, we gotta stop doing these drugs. We gotta stop doing it, man. You're addicted. You're fully addicted. Now you're somebody who is not like, this is such the comparison here. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you're offering somebody who obviously has some sort of problem with something and you're telling them not to do it while simultaneously doing it with them, it's not gonna help them at all. It's not gonna help the situation at all. You're doing nothing. Your words are honestly going to, you know, just into space. Meaningless.
I told him he needed to sleep. I called him that last morning before he got locked up. I said, I don't think you should take a break. You should get some sleep. He said, no, like, your favorite streamers. He just kept going. You can't force a grown man to do something. People always put blame on the people that are around that circle.
Oh, okay.
You can't. You're not responsible for other people.
I'm glad you said that. So whenever you get
you're not responsible, you're not responsible for other people. You can't make a grown man do something. Okay, that's a good friend we should have, right? Somebody who's not. Yes, you're not responsible for other people. I get that, but come on, man. If you're a true friend, if you care about somebody, you would do the best you can to help them. You know?
He's gonna go back to streaming. If he starts acting and going down the same path again, and you're around him, what do you do? You've seen this already.
I'm gonna tell him. What I think.
Everybody who's watched Fousey, I used to watch Fousey when he was a daily YouTuber.
And how are you not enabling it by watching it?
I'm not around him. I can't do anything. I'm a viewer.
How is that not, how is that not enabling?
We're not gonna blame the viewer. We're not gonna blame the viewer.
So you're gonna blame me though?
Yeah, please. If I just start slapping you repeatedly, the views are gonna go up. Like, you can't blame the viewers, but like, you can't be like, hey, if you guys enjoying, Ak wouldn't keep doing it, right? Like,
I don't know that. I don't know if I fully agree with that stance there. Because if you are somebody who watches somebody, you're kind of enabling them as well. Maybe that's something that I would have to like really analyze as well. Because if you're watching them and the viewer count is going up, and the viewer count is what makes them also act the way they're acting, it's like, are we also kind of affecting him? Or are we also bringing light to what he's doing? At the end of the day, we're, like he said, we are not around him, so we can't honestly do anything about it. So I guess maybe, I don't know. That's a whole different topic, I think.
They're always gonna watch a train wreck. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the people who are also benefiting, like other content creators who are with them. Like, you guys are making content too. Your numbers are going up. You're collaborating with him. You have more of a closer influence on him than the viewers. You know what I mean? So like, I've seen this with Fousey like 4 times. I've seen him doing a daily.
Man, if you're gonna say that I'm enabling it by being around him and giving him good advice and saying that, then the viewers
by being around him.
Sneako just doesn't understand. Sneako doesn't understand. He just doesn't. He doesn't get it. He does, because he's not in the same mentality as that. That compassion is out the window with him. Like, it's just not the same playing field. So it's not hitting correctly, and that's the problem with this conversation. I mean, I commend Ak for trying to hold him accountable, but the reality is, it's just like it's not gonna work with him.
And doing content with him while he's acting batshit crazy, of fucking course.
It's my fault that he's locked up.
No, it's not your fault that he's locked up, but it's your fault that
what is this word enable? What does that mean?
You're enabling it because you're also, well, first of all, you're enabling and exploiting it. Actually, that's the worst part.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How all the people
you're putting a camera. Listen, if I go get a crazy motherfucker, I put a camera in his
I wasn't
face.
even streaming Fousey. It was him. I just showed up. He wanted to collab with me. I didn't even stream Fousey.
Still exploit him as even being on camera with the motherfucker, because you're on camera. Really, why are you on camera? Again,
I guess Ak is saying is because like Fousey doesn't have everything in line, right? He is mentally not okay. He is not somebody who can like. Fousey thinks isn't necessarily what reality is, right? The thing is that Fousey is gonna continue doing what is good for him, whether it's bad or not, and because of that fact, he's not in total control of his like human self, of his body. I think of self, right? And I think that's where Ak comes in and says, well, he's not necessarily in control of himself, so therefore you are exploiting him, or you are enabling him as well, because this guy is obviously unhinged, and you're just filming him and using him for content.
You ain't that cool of friends with him. You're on camera because he has 70,000 people watching him, and now they're like, oh shit, Sneako. Now you're in this IRL streaming world. That's exploiting him. You're exploiting his fucking attention that he's getting
by talking about him right now. What's the difference? Your content creator using his name, same thing. All the commentators.
No, because it's not the same thing. Again, Ak already said this. It's not, you're not exploiting him because he's not in the current picture right now. He's not in that moment right now. He's not close to him. He's only speaking about what had happened and what happened with the situation. Right? This is not exploiting him because he's not there. Ak is, like he said earlier, he's not close enough to him to say, oh, we're not filming this guy at all. But if he was there, it would be a different story, right?
Wait. If they're on
hold on. If all the commentary channels just say like, oh, you're exploiting, they are also monetizing off of his name. Why don't they take all that AdSense and then donate to a mental health organization? They're not, because they're also doing the same thing. They're
no, that that's a different argument. He's creating a different argument. That is not the argument there. He's saying that if people really did care enough for Fousey to or the situation, they would put their money aside or they would donate to other places. That is not the current argument. That is a different topic. That is just kind of him trying to sway from it. Like, it's not, I don't know what this mentality is of like, of that, right? I don't know what exactly he's trying to do, but that's not it.
Accusing me of being guilty.
Okay.
For. Hey. Chad, we're here. Power slap. Sneako, should I give up caffeine? Only drug I consume? No, keep doing it.
Yeah. Yo, by the way, this is what I was saying though.
What?
You're saying doing content with him. I'm telling you, I don't want to do content with him.
There you go.
I don't want to do content with Fousey.
Hey,
like, I don't care.
Right now is
he could have, he could have 1 million people. I don't want to do content
Stop
with
lying.
that dude.
Stop lying. He has to come to your podcast. You're doing it.
Hell no.
Stop lying.
And he's acting like this?
Stop lying. You're doing it.
Nah.
Thank you, sir.
No way,
yeah, man. You exploited the motherfucker. Now you over here.
Damn, I just act on the gas pedal there. Act is cool. Like, he don't give a fuck. He's not afraid of people.
You exploited him.
You're just saying words. Exploiting.
Now Sneako is just oblivious to the fact. He's just not even, like, he's just denying what he's saying at this point.
You really feel like you did nothing that took advantage of somebody who's mentally ill? Hold on. While they're having,
he honestly does not think he did, because he's his own man. He's his own man, and he said himself, he doesn't really believe in like mental health or shit like that. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if he actually said that.
So.
No, not at all. Not at all. You're just saying commentary channel stuff.
No. Nah, come on, man. You know I'm gonna
see, you can either be in the content or you can talk about the content.
No.
You're the person talking about it, so I'm exploiting it because you're not that.
Well, I'm addressing it with you because I seen you exploit it. I don't be every day talking about this batshit crazy nigga, man. Like, I want him to get help. Listen, the next time you do a content with him, you should be shaking his medication. Like, nigga, if you take it,
oh my god,
don't take it. We're getting out of here.
I don't believe in that.
Shout out Big Act, dude. Shout out Big Act. I really didn't expect him to go on this take. I really didn't. But Act has a lot of compassion. He cares a lot, and what he's saying is true. If you were around him and you were supposedly his friend, or you're supposedly someone who is close to him, you should be trying to tell him, yes, he's a grown man. We get it. We get the argument. Yes, but he's obviously not okay. So you got to do whatever you can if you're truly his friend to really help him or do anything about it, or step away from the situation and don't use him for content and don't film or don't stream. You could also do that. That's also another option, right? If there's absolutely nothing that you can do, you can move away from them and not support them and just let them figure it out themselves. There's also that. But he's saying that you're exploiting him because you're putting the camera in his face and then you're making content. Not everything is COE.
All right, we'll see.
I don't believe in meds, so.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I don't believe in meds. Like, it's just, this conversation is not going anywhere. It's gonna plateau.
You need to have good people around you, and you should be praying.
I don't really believe in medication shit either. It's just
why are you yelling?
No. But I'm not suffering from, like, that's a nigga that should be institutionalized. I'm sorry. So if meds is the only way to keep him out here,
you're saying lock him up?
Right, he can't.
That's very G6, man. G7 free food. I don't even know what you. How do we get
No, bro. He's saying that he needs help. That's all he's saying. Like, if he needs, Act is under the impression that Fousey needs medical help, medical treatment because of everything that he's been doing, and that's what his position is. Sneako's position is that Fousey's his own grown man, and how is he exploiting him? How is he using him if he can do his choices? But his choices are eliminated because Fousey is going through a mental health disorder. He can't really make cohesive decisions like that, right? That's the problem here. And because Sneako can't see that, it just doesn't work.
That's you. It's gonna be good. Wait, so how are we not exploiting these fighters right now, slapping each other in the face?
We definitely are.
So that word has no meaning anymore.
Hold on. Mentally, they're not insane. They get
right now. We're exploiting people's.
That's the problem. See, he keeps going. He keeps running to that position. The difference is it's that they don't have a mental health disorder. They might have a mental health disorder. We don't know, but they are choosing to be in that octagon. They're choosing to get into the fight with I'm sure they have USADA or whoever does the UFC. Excuse me, whoever does the fucking UFC medical shit knows if somebody has a mental health disorder, right? With Fousey, we know that he has a mental health disorder, so therefore he's not all there. That is the issue.
Yo, these are athletes. We're not. If they got mental illness, we gotta get them out of here.
But you gotta be mentally ill to get slapped in the face on camera for fun.
All them CTE niggas from NFL,
they're all getting CTE.
That's why
they're all getting CTE.
You're right. That's why they all suing.
And we're all exporting it right now. You see how this word makes no sense? How are we not exporting the Chinese slaves who made this phone? You need to make all your money off your phone right now. Are you not exporting a little 12-year-old Chinese boy?
Listen, we're always exploiting somebody. I'm just not thinking about
So then don't say the word. That means nothing.
Oh, this guy, man.
Bro, this guy, he's trying to like, he's not like acknowledging that. He just doesn't want to acknowledge that. You know, he wants to make it into a grander position rather than like a focused one, right?
For you to take 5 slaps from me, I'm not taking none from you. I'll pay you.
Huh?
I'll pay you. Each slap, what's the price?
That's like you're exploiting. That's exploitation.
Yeah, but nobody give a fuck about you.
You see these yapping commentary channels? They find a word like exploiting.
Yapping, that's the new word, right?
You're not a mentally ill nigga, bro.
Medication.
No. Yeah.
And then they come in with very G6, like just this is
He's just
bad.
Sneako is just ignoring him. It's not gonna work with this guy because he just doesn't. He doesn't subscribe to whatever it is, you know.
They don't know why, but they know it's bad, but they don't know why.
Yo, in reality, you're not a mentally. If you were mentally ill, yo, it's like
you know. Technically, I am mentally ill. The doctor said
hold on. I'm gonna give you an example.
God.
Do you know Welvin the Great?
Who?
Welvin the Great. Like that's it. Come on.
No.
Everybody, people in the chat know Welvin the Great. It's like this dude. He's gonna be like, yo, got him. You remember that guy? Ha!
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's mentally ill, bro.
Bro, remember? I think he was homeless, right? He became homeless. That's sad.
Like these days, he's in Vegas. People will give him money and like take advantage of him for content or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Somebody that's mentally ill.
So everybody's exploiting everybody.
No,
that's
bro,
sad.
I'm talking about exploiting mentally ill.
He doesn't. I don't know what is not going through Sneako's head. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. He just. I think it's the choice of not believing in mental health. That's the problem here, and that's why I'm getting fucking frustrated here. I think it's the choice of not believing in mental health, and he's gonna. Aka's gonna keep hitting a wall with him, because this dude refuses to acknowledge that there's different types of people in this world, right, who suffer from different types of things. Just because you don't have autism to the fullest extent, right? You don't have there's like levels to autism, right? And some people may not show physically, or like you could tell, right? Some people could have autism and, you know, be dealing with that, right? Those are challenges that they have to go through. It's a different thing. It's not the same thing, right? It's not, you can't handle the situations the same way. They're all different. That is the problem. I'm not saying Fousey has autism. What I'm saying is that Fousey has a mental health disorder. And the reason Sneako doesn't understand that is because he refuses to acknowledge that.
Define exploitation.
You're taking advantage of somebody. And I'm saying that because they're mentally ill, bro. Like, if you say it.
Should I put one of his yapping? Akademiks.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh, D's nuts, okay. Aka's right.
Bro, you're just not trying to take accountability. It's tough to take accountability.
I would take
accountability. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why you can't take accountability.
Why?
Because that's kind of part of your IRL streaming glow up. And it's like when people say to me, right? And they'll bring up like the war in Iraq, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, are you exploiting little 12-year-old boys shooting each other?
Well, first of all, was there exploitation of the culture? Yes. It takes a while for you to get there. You ain't there yet.
Okay.
At one point, you're going to realize that you took advantage of food.
Okay, so you farmed gang culture in Chicago.
I like, because Act is so Act has gone through the ringer, right? He's gone through everything, whether it was the war in Iraq, whether it was the things that was going through everyday struggle, whether it was different situations in his like content creating life, right? Act is more emotionally mature than he was before, and that's why he was able to take accountability. The problem with Sneako and Sneako-like people is that their mentality is kind of like the thing that kind of drives these people and doesn't allow them to take accountability. And that's the problem with a lot of people who are kind of red-pilled at this point, is that the point of view of things is kind of like people are going to make decisions because they are going to make decisions. They're human beings. He is a man, so therefore he should be able to take care of himself. It doesn't matter if he was diagnosed with mental health issues, because number one, I don't even believe in that, right? I don't believe that people should take pills. I don't believe any of that. He's his own man. He should choose to do his own things. So if he doesn't necessarily see that, he doesn't see anything wrong with what's going on with FouseyTube, he's not going to believe that he's exploiting him. He's not going to believe that he took advantage of the situation, because then the number one thing, he doesn't even believe in that whole aspect of people, right? And that is the problem with people like Sneako, is that that's why he's not going to take accountability. And that's where Ak is more emotionally mature than Sneako is, because Sneako isn't really, when it comes down to it, people who are red-pilled are not as compassionate as someone who is not red-pilled. Someone who is like, a man who's red-pilled is not going to care for another man, right? Or cry for another man. Maybe they will, right? I don't know. I don't want to get too much into that, right? Because I have to think about that. But like, the reality is that compassion in this point is not the best, right? And where Ak is very compassionate, Sneako is not. And that's the problem with these two. And then Sneako is stuck in his ideology of like mental health and illness and all this shit. And that's the problem with this conversation, you know. But Ak is right, you know. Eventually, hopefully, Sneako turns into the man where he could take accountability for what he has done, you know. And hopefully any man can take accountability for what they've done. Or any person. Doesn't have to be a fucking man. It could be a woman as well, or whatever you want to fucking be, you know.
Chicago, and I farmed a 36-year-old.
It was exploitive. Yes. Okay. Hold on. I'm telling you that because at a point you get to, you take accountability. You're at the point where like, you're gaslighting. I ain't do nothing.
You farmed a bunch of kids killing each other. I farmed one guy in a Manic episode.
Wait, did I make people kill each other? I didn't say that.
That's a false comparison.
I covered content. Right.
You exploited it.
Well, exploited the culture. If
okay,
they want to say it like that, yeah.
Vlad could be considered exploiting the culture, right? Right, because if Ak is agreeing to that, then Vlad himself could be a little bit exploitative.
Okay.
But that's me taking accountability, because it could have been done in a different way. That's not exploitive. You get what I mean? Doing journalism in that type of way, how I did it, could be seen as exploitive.
Jay, you know when you say a word so many times it doesn't even mean anything anymore? Like, I don't even know, like...
Oh my God, bro.
Like, it hit before, and now it's just like...
Yo, this nigga Sneako is one of the niggas, he try to rewrite the definition of words.
It's got, like, that word, it doesn't hit anymore.
Yeah, great video, man. I really like what Ak has to say here. I think Sneako is just stuck in his ideology, and that's why he's not going to understand. Shout out to Big Ak, though, for trying to hold him accountable. I think he's right, you know, with the things that he is saying here. You know, he did kind of exploit him and did use him, and FouseyTube hopefully does get the help that he needs. I don't know still on the fact that if we watching him is kind of still enabling him as well. I don't know if I completely agree with his take, if we're just love watching train wrecks, and that's okay. I don't know. But yeah, man, great video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the situation. I would love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you smash that sub button. We're trying to reach our goal of 500 subs, and with your help, we can definitely do so. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.